The card that I made for the swap is this one. It has quite a few layers, as you can see. It's got the Melon Mambo card base, and then 2 layers of white, the designer paper, and then some die cuts. So what I did for that card is I used the Dragonfly Dreams for the sentiment. I used Thanks for the Smile and everything else. And then I used the Oh So Eclectic stamp set. I just used this flower image. And then I used the coordinating dies. So I used Coastal Cabana for the leaf. I should bring my card back in so you can see while I'm explaining. I stamped Crushed Curry ink on Crushed Curry cardstock for the flower. And then this is the die that cuts that out. And the third die cut is this white flower from the Flourishing dies. Now, before I popped it out, something that a lot of my customers didn't know, my local customers, they always try to use a paper piercer to take the die cut out. If you look closely at this die, it's got a whole bunch of little open, like little dots that you can actually stick your paper piercer in. You just give it a little nudge, and then you can just pull it out. So that's the easiest way to get your dies out, in case you didn't know that tip. Now let me get my paper trimmer so we can score the card base. So let me go ahead and move all of these items over. And the card base I'm using is Melon Mambo, 11 inches by 4 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and score that at 5 1/2. And then I'll show you how I assembled my card. Now, I don't have all of these pieces cut out. I'm actually filming this video before I leave for Orlando because, of course, I'm bringing my cards with me, and I want you guys to show you guys how I do production style. So this is what 50 card bases looks like. That's actually a package of our cardstock, 24 sheets cut in half for 48, and then 1 additional sheet. I used the largest scallop die from the Layering Squares dies. These I cut, oh, and that's Whisper White, of course. This is my second layer of Whisper White, and these measure 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And then I used the Tea Room designer paper. I used this sheet. I should take these out to show you guys the patterns on these sheets. They're really cute. I love the butterflies. Beautiful flowers. This one is so pretty. I haven't been able to cut into that one yet. Now let's flip these over. I love this color. And let me see, did I do this? This is this one. So there's the Calypso Coral side, and then the side to that one that I've already cut into. So these are beautiful designs that you can use on your cards or 3D projects. So I've folded my card base in half. My next step is to add the scallop square that I've cut with the Layering Squares dies. And what I did is I pretty much centered it this way and a little bit bigger of a space on the top. The next layer is the square white. That one had a little boo-boo on the back, but most of it's going to be covered and you won't even see it. And then my designer paper layer, and I did put this down so you guys, so I could get my trimmer. There's 50 pieces of the designer paper, and these measure 2 inches by 2 inches. And I did add stamping dimensionals to this layer, so 1 in each corner. Now this swap, we had to have at least 2 layers, which of course I do. It had to be products from the annual catalog. That way we can use these swap cards in our business for at least another 7 months till the annual catalog expires. And then everything else you could do whatever you wanted to. Now let me bring in the Melon Mambo ink. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment right below the squares. And I love the way the Melon Mambo ink looks on the Melon Mambo cardstock. And then all I've got left to do is to add the die cuts. Now this one, I did trim the stem just a little bit. And I made it overhang on these layers. Next is the white die cut. And that goes about there. And then for the crushed curry flower, I did use stamping dimensionals for that flower. And I just make sure I cover both stems when I glue it in place. And then lastly, I'm going to add just a little bit of bling. Now where is my paper piercer? Here it is. And I'm adding that right in the center of both little white circles there on the die cut. So I made 50, I'm going to assemble 50 cards, so that means I'm going to need 100 rhinestones before I'm all done with this. So even though this is a simple card, 50 of everything and then 100 rhinestones. So that does add up, but I'm sure I'm going to have some beautiful samples to show you. So I'll do another video at some point, probably on my Facebook page, to show you all the swaps that I received in return. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for stopping in.